The vast emptiness of space was calm, almost peaceful, as the alien fleet patrolled the outer rim of the Zephyr system. Their ships glimmered under the light of distant stars, but none of the officers aboard dared to speak too loudly. The silence was tense, filled with anticipation and unease. Captain Zorlin, a veteran of countless interstellar battles, peered at the holographic display in front of him. His eyes narrowed as the sensor readings flickered erratically. "Commander," he said, his voice low, "there's something approaching. It doesn't match any known human fleet patterns." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Humans were known in distant stories, feared for their unpredictability. But no one had ever seen a fleet like this so close. As the alien ships moved to intercept, a small cluster of massive vessels appeared on the scanners. They were larger than anything the aliens had encountered, yet silent, their movements deliberate and precise. The humans did not respond to hails or scans. Their presence was calm, almost casual, but the energy readings from their ships made every officer uneasy. Zorlin clenched his claws around the control panel. "This doesn't feel right," he muttered. The human's approach was not aggressive, yet every instinct in him screamed danger. He remembered the old tales. Humans had survived battles that would have destroyed entire alien armadas, and they always seemed to strike at the right moment. The lead human vessel stopped just outside the Zephyr defense perimeter. Hovering silently, it emitted a subtle hum that resonated through space. The alien fleet tensed, unsure whether it was a threat or a bluff. Then, a human figure appeared on the main screen of the alien command ship, tall, calm, and unyielding. The human captain looked directly at Zorlin, as if seeing into his mind. "Why are you here?" Zorlin demanded, trying to mask his growing fear. The human's voice was even and soft, yet carried a strange authority. "We are here to observe, but do not test our patience," the human said. And even though the tone was calm, every officer aboard the alien ships felt a shiver run through their exoskeletons. Whispers spread quickly among the alien ranks. What kind of species could be so confident, so calm in the presence of an entire fleet? Some suggested retreat. Others argued for a show of force. But Zorlin knew that the usual threats and intimidation tactics would not work here. The human ships did not fire. They did not make threats. Yet the aliens felt the weight of power pressing upon them. Hours passed, but the human vessels remained still, observing, calculating. Their sensors scanned every ship, every system. Yet no attack came. The aliens grew restless, some of the younger officers pacing the bridge nervously. "Captain," a subordinate hissed, "I feel like they are reading our minds. It is uncomfortable." Zorlin could not deny it. The humans had a presence that unsettled even the bravest among them. Then, without warning, one of the alien ships attempted to move closer, to assert dominance. A subtle warning flashed across the human command screen, and the alien pilot froze, unable to override his systems. The human voice echoed again, calm but firm. "Now, I am seriously getting annoyed." Instantly, the alien ship retreated, as if invisible chains held it back. The effect was instantaneous, contagious. All nearby, alien vessels shivered and fell back slightly. Zorlin gritted his teeth, unable to hide his astonishment. He had faced fleets, storms, and ambushes, but nothing like this. The humans did not attack, did not threaten with weapons, and yet they controlled the situation effortlessly. The alien officers whispered among themselves, fear and curiosity mixing in equal measure. What kind of species could command such respect without violence? As the Zephyr system rotated slowly in the void, the humans remained silent, their fleet a calm storm on the edge of the alien perception. Zorlin felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him. The galaxy had always been vast, filled with powerful species, but these humans, there was something different about them, something no one had ever seen before. Finally, the human vessels began to move, not retreating, not attacking, but repositioning gracefully. Every alien sensor blinked with data, trying to understand the logic. Zorlin knew that tonight would be remembered in the Zephyr system. The humans had arrived, and in their quiet, calm way, they had already claimed a psychological victory over an entire fleet. No one spoke for a long time. The only sound was the hum of the alien ships and the subtle, steady pulse of human technology in the distance. Zorlin stared at the display again, whispering to himself, "If they are annoyed already, I cannot imagine what comes next." The Zephyr system remained tense, the alien fleet still trembling from the humans' silent dominance. Captain Zorlin paced the bridge, claws tapping nervously against the control console. Every officer felt it, the invisible pressure that seemed to radiate from the distant human fleet. It was not their weapons, not their numbers, but something deeper, something instinctively terrifying. On the human lead vessel, Captain Adrian observed the alien fleet with calm precision. Every movement of the aliens was tracked, analyzed, and anticipated. There was no aggression in his posture, no flare of pride, only patient observation. Yet the aliens could sense that even this patience was a weapon, a subtle form of power that unsettled them more than lasers or missiles ever could. Zorlin decided to make a move. He signaled the nearest warship to approach closer, to show strength. The alien pilot hesitated, sensing the human gaze, but obeyed, confidence masking growing fear. As the ship drew nearer, a soft pulse emanated from the human's vessel, almost imperceptible, yet every system aboard the alien ship reacted violently. Controls flickered, sensors spiked. The alien pilot's claws tightened on the helm, unable to fully override the systems. "Retreat immediately," whispered Zorlin, his voice trembling. The human voice echoed across the fleet, calm but sharp. "Now, I am getting seriously annoyed." That single phrase, delivered without anger, without movement, sent ripples of panic through the alien ranks. The approaching ship lurched backward as if pulled by an unseen force, and every nearby vessel shifted instinctively away. The alien council began to debate, their voices rising in fear and confusion. "How can this be possible?" One commander hissed. "They're just humans, no match for a fleet of this size." Yet every attempt at reason was drowned out by the gnawing unease spreading across the bridge. Zorlin's mind raced, trying to anticipate the humans' next move, but nothing in their records prepared them for this. Meanwhile, the humans demonstrated subtle power beyond technology. Captain Adrian sent a small reconnaissance drone into the Zephyr asteroid belt. Normally, alien scouts would intercept immediately, yet these drones moved freely, mapping the region and sending back data instantly. It was precision without violence, dominance without attack, and it left the aliens uncertain, afraid even. A sudden alarm flared on Zorlin's console. "Multiple ships reporting system disruptions," he shouted. The younger officers froze, scanning readings that made no sense. Human ships did not fire, yet every ship in the perimeter felt interference, subtle but absolute. It was as if the humans could control the very flow of energy around them, dictating fear without a single shot. Adrian leaned back in his command chair, calm and measured. "We do not need to escalate," he said quietly. Yet each alien officer felt the weight of his words. The humans' restraint was as dangerous as any weapon. The aliens began retreating from strategic points, their own confidence crumbling in real time. Fleet by fleet, the invisible power of human patience reshaped the battlefield. Zorlin felt a mixture of awe and terror. He had seen wars rage across galaxies, witnessed fleets destroyed in minutes. Yet this was something entirely different. One sentence, one calm tone, had fractured their coordination, undermined their morale. The aliens had been trained to fear strength, but humans taught them that fear could exist without it. As night fell across the Zephyr system, human ships maintained their positions, silent guardians, observing, waiting. The aliens whispered among themselves, rumors of human invincibility spreading like wildfire. Zorlin realized this was no ordinary species, no fleet, no technology could match the psychological mastery humans displayed. He shivered at the thought of their true anger, the storm that had yet to break. Then, a final warning echoed across the alien comm channels, calm, collected, almost casual. "We are still patient, but patience is not endless." Immediately, several alien ships retreated completely from the forward perimeter. Their commanders realized, too late, that humans had already won the first round without firing a single shot. The galaxy would remember this day. not for bloodshed, but for the quiet, terrifying power of humanity. Zorlin slumped in his command chair, silent, watching the humans reposition. A low hum of their engines the only sound. He whispered, almost to himself, if this is only the beginning, what happens when they truly lose patience? And somewhere deep in the shadows of space, the human fleet remained calm, waiting. The Zephyr system trembled under a tension that no alien fleet had ever felt. Captain Zorlin could feel it in his bones. A pressure that was neither physical nor technological, but something deeper, something that made even the bravest officers doubt their own instincts. The human fleet had not fired a single shot, yet fear rippled through every deck, every command center. Captain Adrian's flagship drifted like a silent predator, sensors scanning every asteroid, every hidden station. Humans were patient, observing, waiting for the right moment to act, and the aliens could sense it, their nerves frayed with each measured second. Uncertainty creeping into their decisions. Every signal from the humans carried weight, every glance. Every subtle adjustment of their ships made alien commanders second-guess their orders. Zorlin ordered a probe squadron to enter the asteroid belt, hoping to gather intelligence. The pilots felt uneasy, instruments fluctuating without explanation. As soon as they approached, the probes faltered, their sensors jammed, not by attack, but by something invisible, a silent command radiating from the humans. Do not come closer. A simple thought seemed to echo in every mind. The squadron turned, retreating instinctively, unable to disobey. The council chambers erupted in chaos. How is this possible? Shouted one commander. They do not strike, yet they control us. Others argued for aggression, but even the most aggressive factions hesitated, knowing instinctively that human patience was a weapon, stronger than any laser or missile. Zorlin felt his confidence crumble. He had faced deadly storms and ambushes, yet these humans were different, a force that required no violence to dominate. A small human ship detached from the main fleet, gliding closer to the alien fleet, seemingly alone. The alien sensors lit up in alarm, ready to intercept, but the ship moved calmly, deliberately. Captain Adrian's voice broadcast across every channel, calm, low, yet cutting through the alien chatter. We are watching, we are still patient, but every moment of disrespect shortens our patience. The alien officers froze, knowing their bravado was meaningless. Suddenly, the human ship unleashed a display of controlled energy pulses, not aimed to destroy, but to demonstrate. Each pulse disrupted shields and sensors, leaving the alien vessel stunned, unable to coordinate. A single pulse passed through a squadron of warships, not harming them. Yet every system shuddered, showing the sheer precision of human technology and control. Fear coursed through every officer, panic rising quietly, infecting their ranks. Zorlin's mind raced, trying to plan a counterattack, but every option felt futile. Humans were not just powerful, they were strategic beyond comprehension. Every move anticipated, every outcome controlled. It was as if they had already seen the future, and the aliens were trapped in a timeline they could not escape. One young officer whispered, "They're not just strong, they are perfect predators." The words spread silently among the crew, a grim acknowledgement that humans had mastered a level of dominance no one had imagined. The council debated withdrawing, but pride, stubbornness, and fear warred in their minds, leaving them paralyzed. Then came the moment that would haunt the Zephyr system forever. A lone human shuttle entered the main space between the fleets, carrying no weapons, no shields visible, just Captain Adrian, calm, standing on the observation deck, watching, listening, commanding without words. Zorlin felt his heart pound, as if the very presence of one human could bend reality. Every alien ship instinctively shifted back, retreating without command, a chain reaction of fear spreading like wildfire. Adrian raised his hand slightly, and the alien fleet paused mid-movement. Not one dared advance, not one dared challenge. The simple gesture carried authority, dominance, and warning. The human patience, the invisible power, was now undeniable, and the alien commanders understood, finally fully, that no firepower could match this quiet strength. Zorlin slumped into his chair, claws gripping the edges, whispering, "We are finished. Even without fighting, they have defeated us." Every officer felt it, the unspoken truth that humans had rewritten the rules of power in the galaxy. The human fleet glided silently away, leaving the Zephyr system shaken, confused, and in awe. In the shadows of space, humans were calm, patient, controlled, yet the alien fleet would carry the memory of this day forever. Fear and respect intertwined, a warning that the galaxy could not ignore. And somewhere, Captain Adrian's eyes gleamed with quiet determination. Knowing this was only the beginning, the Zephyr system shuddered under the quiet weight of the human's presence. Alien officers whispered in hushed tones across the fleet, fear lacing every syllable. Captain Zorlin could feel the tension like a living thing, creeping into his claws, twisting his nerves. Every plan he had, every strategy his species had perfected for generations, seemed fragile against this invisible force. Human ships drifted with deliberate calm, scanning the system without haste, without threat, yet every pulse of energy, every subtle adjustment of their engines carried a message, a warning that no alien could ignore. We are patient, but our patience has limits. The message was unspoken, yet it resonated through every sensor, every mind. Zorlin attempted to rally his fleet, ordering formations, deploying scouts, and initiating maneuvers, but hesitation gripped them. Controls lagged, as if responding to an unseen will. Every vessel trembled at the human's silent gaze. Every officer felt the strange pressure of being judged without words. The alien pilots whispered prayers to gods they barely believed in, hoping for some way to counter the human calm. Meanwhile, Captain Adrian observed the chaos, calm and composed, each flicker of his eyes calculating, predicting, controlling. Humans did not need weapons to dominate. Their patience itself was a battlefield, and the aliens were losing without a single shot. The council chambers aboard the alien command ship were in turmoil. Officers shouted over one another, each suggestion dismissed by instinctive fear. Adrian deployed a single reconnaissance craft, small and sleek, gliding silently into the densest asteroid field. Normally, the aliens would attempt interception immediately, but every command to attack faltered, hesitated. The craft moved as if invisible, scanning and mapping while projecting a subtle field of influence, leaving alien instruments malfunctioning, systems lagging, nerves fraying. Zorlin's claws tightened around the controls, his mind racing. "This is impossible," he hissed. "They do not fight. They do not threaten. Yet they control every decision we make." His officers nodded in terrified agreement, whispering tales of humans' past victories, stories of impossible battles won with calm and patience alone. Every alien present realized that humans had redefined power, and they were trapped within it. Suddenly, a human shuttle appeared near the main alien fleet, alone, unarmed, yet every alien sensor screamed danger. The shuttle hovered silently, projecting a field that disrupted shields, engines, and communications, not by attack, but by precision, by control, by sheer presence. The alien commanders froze as their vessels shuddered involuntarily, unable to advance, unable to retreat. Adrian's voice carried over the fleet, calm and authoritative. "We are still patient, but each second you waste on arrogance shortens our patience." The words cut deeper than any weapon, echoing in minds conditioned to follow logic and protocol. Yet the humans did not fire, did not threaten with aggression. Their calm alone dictated the battlefield. Their presence alone dominated the minds of thousands. The council erupted, officers arguing, fighting amongst themselves, some begging to retreat, others demanding aggression. But every decision faltered. The humans had no visible weapons deployed, no strike launched, yet every alien instinct recognized defeat. Zorlin's claws trembled as he realized the magnitude of what they faced. The humans had shown the galaxy that dominance did not need destruction, only patience and precision. Then, without a single sound, the human fleet shifted, repositioning slowly, almost gracefully, projecting quiet authority. Every alien ship instinctively mirrored their movements, retreating slightly, hesitant, uncertain. The silent dominion of humans became undeniable. The aliens whispered among themselves, fear and respect mingling into a realization. They were outclassed in ways they could not understand. Zorlin slumped in his command chair, whispering, "We face a species that commands the galaxy without firing a shot. What happens when their patience ends?" Across the system, humans drifted silently, calm, unstoppable, yet their quiet power screamed louder than any battle cry. The Zephyr system would never forget this day, the day humans taught the galaxy the terrifying force of patience and control. The news of human dominance spread like wildfire across the Zephyr system. Alien species whispered among themselves, fleets shifting nervously, markets halting in fear. Every colony, every station sensed the presence of humans not through weapons, but through reputation and subtle influence. Panic grew quietly, invisibly, yet undeniably. Captain Zorlin could feel the grip of dread tightening on his crew. Even seasoned officers, veterans of countless skirmishes, felt unease in their claws. Their sensors tracked human movements, yet no patterns could be discerned. Every calculation failed to predict the humans' next step. Their calm presence alone dictated strategy, forcing alien commanders to second-guess every decision. Captain Adrian observed silently, each flicker of his eyes calculating, precise. The humans did not need battle to assert authority. They moved as if every motion was measured, designed to instill a subtle sense of fear. The aliens could not comprehend it, and that confusion became their weakness. Every fleet that attempted aggression faltered, systems disrupted, communication lagged, the aliens paralyzed by anticipation. In the Outer Rim, a mining colony reported strange disruptions, equipment failing inexplicably, miners whispering about the approaching silent storm. A lone human ship had moved near the colony, scanning, observing, and projecting authority without aggression. Local alien overseers tried to intervene, yet their commands faltered, engines hesitated, shields wavered. The humans' influence reached even here, far from the central fleet. Zorlin's council argued endlessly, trying to devise a countermeasure. "We must strike before they grow bolder," one commander shouted. "No, patience is our only chance," another replied. Yet every plan dissolved under the invisible pressure humans exerted. Every officer felt it. Hesitation was lethal, misjudgment even deadlier, and humans exploited both without firing a single shot. Adrian dispatched a reconnaissance drone through the asteroid belt. The alien fleet scrambled to intercept, yet each attempt failed subtly, but completely. Sensors malfunctioned. Engines misfired, communications garbled. The aliens began to realize that human dominance was not physical. It was psychological, a slow, inescapable suffocation of the mind. Then across the system, reports came in of alien fleets retreating preemptively, evacuating colonies, withdrawing from strategic points, not from attacks, not from battles, but from the reputation, the presence, the quiet patience of humans. The galaxy had never seen power exercised this way, without destruction, without fire. Yet it was total, undeniable, unstoppable. Zorlin's voice trembled as he addressed his officers. "We are being outmaneuvered by calm, by restraint, by observation. This is not warfare as we know it. This is domination." Every officer nodded silently. No arguments remained. Even the boldest ships pulled back slightly, instinctively, subconsciously, obeying a force they could neither see nor fight. Adrian's fleet remained poised, calm, observing the system as if it were a chessboard. Each alien move anticipated, analyzed, countered before it even began. The humans did not strike, they did not raise alarms. Yet every fleet, every colony, every officer knew the cost of defiance, and fear spread quietly, systematically, like a shadow over every planet. In the Zephyr Council, Zorlin whispered to himself, claws gripping the console. They do not need war to conquer. They do not need weapons to win. If their patience ends, we cannot imagine the consequences. And somewhere deep within the human fleet, Captain Adrian's calm gaze swept over the system. The quiet storm of humans ready to strike only if provoked, leaving the galaxy in awe, respect, and terror. The Zephyr system had never felt such tension. Every alien ship, every officer, every station was consumed by fear and uncertainty. Even the most battle-hardened commanders whispered among themselves, their logic faltering under the invisible dominance of humans. The galaxy had not prepared them for this. Captain Adrian's fleet moved with silent precision, each ship positioning as if the entire system were a single organism under his control. Humans did not rush, did not attack. Yet every alien sensor screamed threat. Every movement, subtle and deliberate, projected quiet power, psychological force stronger than any weapon. Zorlin ordered a full defensive formation, desperate to maintain control. His claws trembled over the consoles, sweat running across his forehead. Every attempt to anticipate human strategy failed. Every calculation crumbled under the weight of something unseen, something that forced hesitation into even the boldest minds. Suddenly, an alien warlord attempted a bold maneuver, sending a strike force directly toward the human lead vessel. Confidence and pride flashing his mind, he believed he could finally test the human strength. The strike squadron surged forward, weapons armed, engines blazing, every pilot ready for glory. Adrian remained calm, observing, calculating every sensor feed, every alien move, anticipated, analyzed, countered before it began. The human fleet shifted subtly, almost lazily, yet the effect was immediate. The alien squadron faltered mid-flight, controls glitching, engines stuttering, weapons systems misfiring, as if invisible chains held them in place, fear paralyzing even the most skilled pilots. Now, I am seriously annoyed. Adrian's voice carried across every channel, calm, measured but sharper than the sharpest blade. Instantly, the alien warlord's pride shattered, his fleet retreating uncontrollably, unable to coordinate, unable to respond. The humans had demonstrated supremacy without a single shot. The galaxy itself seemed smaller, constrained, dominated by a species that refused to strike, yet ruled with silent authority. The humans' legacy would echo long after their departure, leaving fear and respect intertwined like shadows across the stars. Finally, with no fanfare, no weapons fired, no celebrations made, the human fleet slipped away into the void, silent, precise, leaving behind only the memory of control, patience, and overwhelming authority. The Zephyr system would never be the same, and every species that had witnessed their presence would carry the lesson forever. Humans had arrived quietly, dominated silently, and departed calmly, teaching the galaxy that true power required no violence, only patience, precision, and the quiet, terrifying authority of species that refused to be underestimated. The legend of their calm wrath would endure, whispered across stars, feared by fleets, and respected by all. The council chambers erupted into chaos, officers shouting over one another. Some begged for retreat, others screamed for aggression. But hesitation ruled, and hesitation was lethal. Every alien instinct recognized defeat, yet pride and fear collided, leaving their fleet paralyzed. Adrian deployed drones to sweep the surrounding asteroid fields, mapping and projecting subtle control. Every alien system within range faltered, shields flickering, engines slowing, communications garbling. The humans demonstrated mastery not just over technology, but over perception, over instinct, over fear itself. Zorlin felt his chest tighten, sweat running down his scales. "They are invincible," he whispered. "Without fighting, without weapons, they have crushed our will." Even the youngest officers shook, eyes wide, watching humans manipulate the battlefield with calm, patience, and subtle authority. The aliens had no choice but to submit. Across the system, alien fleets withdrew from forward positions, abandoning colonies and stations preemptively, not from attacks, but from the reputation and presence of humans. Fear spread like wildfire, quiet but unstoppable. Humans did not celebrate, did not taunt. They moved as if the system belonged to them already, commanding without words, dominating without fire. Zorlin watched helplessly as the final alien resistance crumbled. Each officer understood the truth. The humans had rewritten the rules of engagement. They did not need war to win. They did not need weapons to dominate. The galaxy would remember this day, the day humans taught fear and respect without destruction. Captain Adrian's fleet remained poised, calm, silent, waiting, each ship like a sentinel of inevitability. The aliens had learned the power of patience, precision, and control, and it terrified them more than any battle ever could. The crushing silence of human supremacy echoed across the Zephyr system, leaving a lasting mark of awe, fear, and respect. The Zephyr system lay in stunned quiet. Alien fleets and colonies trembling under the unseen weight of human authority. Captain Zorlin slumped in, his command chair, claws gripping the edges, every instinct screaming helplessness. Even the bravest officers whispered among themselves, fear and awe blending in equal measure. Captain Adrian's flagship hovered silently above the system, calm, precise, every sensor sweeping the galaxy's farthest corners. Humans did not rush, did not fire, yet every alien mind felt the full force of their presence. The fleet's quiet patience had rewritten the rules of power, demonstrating that control was stronger than destruction, strategy stronger than numbers. Alien species across the system began preemptive withdrawals, abandoning strategic positions, evacuating colonies, not from weapons, not from combat, but from respect and fear, from understanding that humans were a force beyond reckoning. Every fleet, every officer, every council member knew that defiance was dangerous beyond comprehension. Zorlin's mind raced, tried to reconcile his pride with reality. They conquered without striking, dominated without firing. Their calm, their patience, it is our undoing, he whispered. Each alien fleet mirrored his sentiments, recognizing the human supremacy, a psychological grip that no firepower could break. Adrian's fleet moved slowly through the system, surveying, observing, yet never attacking. Humans displayed control not for conquest, but for legacy, every action calculated, every presence deliberate. The aliens felt the weight of human eyes even when they could not see, a subtle reminder that patience could be as deadly as any weapon. Across the colonies, humans intervened quietly, ensuring evacuation of vulnerable populations, assisting stranded miners, protecting weaker systems. Their actions were strategic, moral, yet every gesture reinforced the terrifying balance of respect and fear. Alien species began whispering tales of humans, stories of a species that commanded galaxies without bloodshed, without aggression, simply through presence, patience, and precision. Zorlin slumped, knowing that history would remember this day. The humans had taught a lesson the galaxy would not forget. That true power lay in restraint, in intelligence, in controlled fury. A single phrase, "I am seriously getting annoyed," had shattered confidence, fractured fleets, and reshaped strategies across entire star systems. As the human fleet prepared to leave the Zephyr system, their calm dominance left an indelible mark. The alien species could only watch, fearful, awed, and profoundly respectful. They understood that humans were not merely a threat. They were a revelation, a new standard of supremacy, a force that would be remembered across generations. Zorlin whispered to himself, claws trembling, "If patience is power, then humanity is unstoppable." Every officer felt the same.